Penn Gaming soaring today on an upgrade to a new street high over at Rosenblatt. That call also giving a nice lift to DraftKings. And Wall Street's betting on a big win for both stocks when the NFL season kicks off in just a few hours from now. You can catch the first game tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time on NBC. Let's talk more about the return of the NFL, what it means to the sports betting stocks. Joining us now is Jefferies gaming expert, David Katz. David, good to see you. What does it mean for the season to start, for the season to play continuously?
Well, what we know is that a majority of the sports betting that's gone on so far in the U.S. has been on football. In fact, if you look at September 2019, 69% of the wagers that happened in that month were on football. Out of New Jersey, where we only have last year to go on, I think 42% of the betting was on NFL last September. So there is an outsized amount of wagering that goes on around football. So the start and continuation of the NFL season is really critical for testing the demand in this market.
Hey, it's Tim. Thanks for joining us. Can you talk a little bit about the relationship that, say, DraftKings and some of the other online betting companies have with the respective sports leagues? And are winners being chosen now, at least ones that are going to get so far ahead of the competition? Because the addressable market here is massive, and we all know we're watching sports differently and interacting with betting differently, and that states are on board with legislation, et cetera.
Right. So, look, I think you make some very important points. Number one, the size of the market. Our estimate at Jefferies is $19 billion, which is a bit higher than most. And this is a story that we've been on and behind for quite some time. What we know is that everyone is after this. This is a gold rush, right? And partnerships, investments are happening. What we don't know is what the key success factors are ultimately going to prove to be, whether it's brands, whether it's consumers and eyeballs, whether it's social engagement, or whether it's technology. And when we overlay that against our coverage and what we see here, we expect all of the above to be critically important. That leads us toward DraftKings, who has captured a lot of eyeballs, has great technology, and somewhat of a proven track record through DFS. It draws us to Caesars, who has many of those parts, and we think forthcoming on the technology side. Penn has absolutely been a battleground stock in our coverage, and they have yet to roll out their app. That is going to be soft launch, as they announced yesterday, within the next week or so in one state. They absolutely have a brand and a platform that is renowned in Barstool that's hard to ignore and hard to bet against. But seeing that technology and how engaging and how productive it ultimately is the question that we're focused on.
David, always good to get your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you.
David Katz. All right, Guy Dami, what do you say about this space?
DraftKings is the place to be. I think it traded up to 44.79 in the beginning of June, tested that level today. So you obviously have a bit of potential for this double top. I think it's going to blow through it. I think Evercore just initiated with a $60 price target. Disney would never do this in a million years, but it makes so much sense for them to buy a product like this for their ESPN distribution. It would be tremendous asset for them, in my opinion. But I think these stocks are real. And, the Michael Jordan news was important. But I think regardless of what happens with sports this year, these stocks are here to stay, and I think DraftKings is the place to be.
Karen, you've leaned towards Penn. He basically, David Katz, basically would you rather and went to DraftKings. And we saw the stock gain about $800 million in market cap on the Michael Jordan announcement alone. So how do you feel about Penn versus DraftKings at this point?
Well, I mean, they've closed the gap. I mean, I think the stock was, 32 when Portner was talking about the differential between the two is just way too wide. Obviously, that gap has closed. So at this point, I don't know. I found sort of a cheaper, much sort of a little different spin on it, which is MGM. I believe in Barry Diller. I think he will be very important in helping them with their online gaming.